Hello everyone, and welcome to a model lesson with Full Blast 1. Full Blast is an exciting series. It's well organized, it's easy for the teacher and the student to work on, and it's also very effective. Now, before I begin the lesson, I'd like to tell you a few things about the components of the course. There's the student's book, okay, and the student's book includes both the workbook and the grammar book, okay, so students get additional practice revising the grammatical structures, the vocabulary, and so on. There is also a glossary, which includes the key vocabulary translated in both English and Arabic. And there's also a student's CD, okay? And on this CD, we have, for example, recorded some of the texts, so students can go home, listen to these texts, practice reading them, and improve their pronunciation. As for the teachers, the components are the following. There's, again, the student's book, which, again, includes the workbook and the grammar book. There's the teacher's manual, all right? And the teacher's manual basically includes the key to all the activities, okay? And it also includes some guidelines on how to use Full Blast and lots of other useful and interesting information, background information for the teacher. Again, the teachers will also receive the glossary, the class CD, which includes all the recordings for the listening activities, and, very important, the test CD, okay? So all the tests are prepared for you. And what's good about this test CD is that it's in modifiable format. That means that you, the teacher, if you like, you can adapt the tests, okay? You can change them, all right? You can make them simpler or more difficult. It all depends on the needs of your students. Now, Full Blast is based on the modular approach. Now, what is a module? Well, a module is just a big topic, a big theme, okay, that is divided into smaller connected topics. All right, and the idea is that students can explore different aspects of the main topic. For example, let's say we had a module called It's My Life. What kind of topics would you expect to find in a module called It's My Life? Yes?
Free time or daily activities, hobbies and interests.
Very good. Sports, daily routines, hobbies and interests, as you mentioned, free time activities, etc. So these are different topics that might be included in a module called It's My Life. Now, in Full Blast, okay, every module contains 5 lessons. In lessons A to D, okay, the first 4 lessons, what we do is we present the target language. In other words, the new grammar, the functions, the vocabulary, as well as giving students an opportunity to practice the 4 skills. Lesson E is more of a skills development lesson, okay, and it also focuses a lot on the writing skill. After lesson E, we have a roundup section, okay. The roundup is basically a revision of the entire module. And then after the roundup, we have a self-evaluation. Okay, this gives students an opportunity to assess themselves, to see where their strengths and weaknesses lie, and to encourage them, okay, to take responsibility for their own learning. And after every module, we also have a cross-curricular page or sometimes a culture page. Okay, so students are learning English, but they're also learning about the world around them in English. Okay, they're learning about different cultures, and they're also learning about different subjects, but in English as well. Now, in module 3, which is called It's My Life, these are the 5 lessons that we're going to look at. Okay, there's a day in and day out. There's lesson B is Do you like sports? Lesson C is time out. Lesson D is around the house, and lesson E is my favorite day. And after lesson E, we have the culture page. All right, so today we're going to focus on lesson A, day in and day out. Okay, And here now we have the cover page of Module 3. It's called It's My Life. Let me ask you, what can you see on this page? What do you see here? Yes?
Someone completing a weekly schedule.
Okay. And what activities has this person noted down so far?
A baseball game, shopping, and bowling with Alan.
Okay. All right. Now, let's look at the discuss questions here. What's your daily routine like? How busy are you? Yes?
I wake up early in the morning and I go to school. I'm very busy because I have to study a lot.
Okay, very good. And then you ask the other two questions. Now, in this section over here, this is an activity where the students have to flick through the module and find these pictures. This is an exciting activity because it lets students find out about what they're going to read, what they're going to encounter in the module. And then we have here the objectives of the module. In other words, what you will be able to do by the time you finish this module, okay? For example, when we finish this module, you will be able to talk about and write about your daily routine, and so on. And here we have now our first lesson, okay? Lesson A. This lesson is called Day In, Day Out. What do you think this phrase means, day in, day out? For example, if I say to you, John plays computer games day in, day out. What does this mean? Yes?
I think it means every day.
Yes, it means every day, exactly. So what do you think this lesson is going to be about? Yes?
About things that we do every day.
Okay, about things that we do every day. So as you can see, all right, in this lesson we start off with a little bit of vocabulary. Then we have a reading text. So we're going to see some of this vocabulary in context. Okay, after the reading text we have some comprehension questions. Afterwards we're going to be looking at grammar. Okay, and remember the grammar is always related to the reading text. There's a pronunciation activity, okay, so we're going to practice pronouncing words in English in the correct way. And finally, okay, our lesson ends with the productive skills, in other words, the speaking activity and the writing activity. All right, now let's go on to the first activity, which is the vocabulary activity. Okay, so here now we have the vocabulary. As you can see, there are pictures, okay, and it's always easier for students to learn vocabulary if they can associate with a visual image. Have a look at this vocabulary and tell me, do you understand these words, these phrases? Okay, you understand everything? Right, okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to play the CD, okay, and I want you to listen and repeat the phrases that you hear. All right, so let's listen and repeat.
Get up. Have a shower. Brush my teeth. Get dressed. Go to school. Have breakfast, lunch, dinner. Get home. Do homework. Go to bed.
Okay, so which of these activities do you do every day?
I get up at 7 o'clock, I get dressed, I have breakfast, and I go to school.
Okay, very good. Let's go on to the reading activity. Take a look at this picture and have a look also at the title. What do you understand by looking at this picture and this title?
That this boy is probably Tony Turner.
Okay, very good. Now take a look at the picture and the title again. what do you think this text is about? But wait, before you tell me, let me ask you, do you know who Pablo Picasso was? No? Well, let me tell you. Pablo Picasso was a famous Spanish artist and also sculptor. Okay? So, what do you think this text is about? Can anybody tell me? Yes?
The text is about Tony Turner, a young painter.
Okay, so you think it's going to be about a young painter named Tony Turner. Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to listen and we're going to check our answers, okay? So let's all listen and read along with the text.
Tony Turner, a young Picasso. Tony Turner isn't a normal schoolboy. He loves art and he's a very good artist. On weekdays, he gets up at 6 o'clock and paints pictures. At 7:30, he has a shower and has his breakfast. Then he goes to school. Art is his favorite subject, of course. He gets home at 4:30 every day and does his homework. In the evenings after dinner, he paints again. At the weekend, it's different.
I visit galleries, I watch TV, or make pictures and designs on my computer.
His art teacher says,
He's amazing. He's even got paintings in the local art gallery.
Okay, so you were right. This text is about Tony Turner, who is an artist, a young artist. All right, let me ask you another question. Is Tony a normal schoolboy? Yes?
No, he isn't.
What is special about him?
He's a very good painter.
Very good. Okay, now let's look at activity B. In this activity, I want you again to read the text and answer these questions. You have to say if these statements are true or false. If it's true, you write T. If it's false, you write F. Okay? But I also want you to justify the answer. So, I want you to underline the parts in the text that justifies the answer, okay? So I'll give you a few minutes to do this on your own, and then we'll go over it together. So begin. Okay, now let's go over these questions together. The first statement, it says here, Tony gets up at 7:30 every day. Is this true or is it false?
It's false, because in the text it says, on weekdays he gets up at 6 o'clock.
Very good. It's false because it says he gets up at 6 o'clock. Very good. Let's look at the next statement. Tony's favorite subject is art. Is this true or false? And why again?
It's true, because it says that art is his favorite subject.
Very good. Again, and here you can see the key to the other statements as well. Okay, now let's turn our attention to the grammar. Here in this lesson, we'll be focusing on the present simple affirmative and also on prepositions of time. Now, when do we use the present simple? Well, we use the present simple for habits or actions that happen regularly, okay? For things that we do every day. Now, what I'd like you to do is to quickly read these two columns, okay? And I want you to tell me, what do you notice about the formation of the third person singular? How do we form the third person singular?
Some verbs take S, some others take ES, and some others IES.
Very good. So, in the third person singular, we add an S, sometimes we add an ES, or an IES. Well, let me explain to you. Most of the time, most verbs require an S. But if the verb ends in a CH or SS or an SH or an O, okay, then we add ES, all right? If the verb ends with a consonant and then a Y, what happens? We add IES, okay? Now, I'd like you to find some examples of the present simple in the text that we just read. Can you find some examples? Yes?
Loves.
Loves, yes.
Goes.
Goes.
Gets.
Gets.
Says.
And says. Very good. Okay. Let's have a look at now the prepositions of time. As you can see, we use at, okay, for the time, like at 10 o'clock, at 1:30, etc. We also use at when we say at the weekend, okay, at noon, all right, at night. In, we use this for the times of the day, like in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, okay? Again, the exception is at night, all right? And on, we use it for the days of the week, for example, on Monday, on Tuesday, okay, on weekdays, and so on. Don't forget that at the back of the book, you also have the grammar reference section, okay? So you can refer to it anytime you want if you feel you need more information or more details about the present simple. This is there for you to help you. And now what I'd like you to do is to have a look at this activity and to complete these sentences by putting the verb in brackets in the present simple form, okay? In the correct present simple form. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do this activity and then we're going to correct it together. So you may begin.